Hey, dudes, imagine this. You're walking home, same route you've taken 100 times. You turn a corner, and that's it. It just goes dark. No struggle, no clues. You're just gone. Tonight, we're talking about people who vanished and the theories that get really uncomfortable. Yes, another one of those episodes. Hope you get uncomfortable. Not really. Let's get into it. What is up, dudes? Welcome to the Paranormal Dudes podcast, episode 98. I'm going to try to be a little serious this time around, which is rare for myself. But we're here joined with the Budster, Jesse, and we're missing the Scratch of the Balls guy. He's not here. So if you don't know who that is, you can go back to, one of our shorts. And episode 78, I think, where he talks about Alpha on the shelf scratching his balls. Quite disgusting, but you can go check it out for yourself. So, how have you guys been? See, I have to compose myself. I have to serious Sergio this episode. Okay, no more jokes. No more disgusting jokes.
You're so serious.
Yes, I'm so serious.
Just because you make your eyes larger doesn't mean that you're being serious. Make them wider and they'll be more serious.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So how's it been for you guys the past couple of weeks? Or I haven't asked this question in quite some time. Have you guys experienced anything spooky as of late? I have in the past week or so. And I'll get into it. But I want to hear from you guys first. Anything at all?
Not really. Not since the last incident.
Okay. Buddy?
No, I've been sleeping too much.
That's good. I mean, that's dark. That's a stark contrast from how it was beforehand where you couldn't sleep. I'm happy to hear that you're sleeping now. Is that because there's a healthy dose of melatonin-ish products?
Not melatonin, but my medications I was on, I would take those and they were just like...
Okay. Can you do that one more time, please, for the camera? Damn it. Okay. Serious Sergio.
Oh my God.
Thank you for sharing.
He's like, let me put my serious hands together.
These are my serious hands.
Say a prayer. Okay. Stern look.
Dios, por favor, ayúdame. Okay, I can do this. I can be serious. Okay. So for myself, little things here and there have been happening that are particularly kind of new in the house. So one of them actually happened while I was chatting it up with you guys yesterday when we were talking about things for the show and beyond. While I was talking to you guys, I honestly thought either it was my daughter or Sally. They put something down on my desk.
Yes, the thud. I remember you said that.
Yeah, and I turned and not only did I hear it, but I felt it because, the vibration on my desk. No, there was no one there. I couldn't tell what item it was that made that noise, but it was strange. And then another, get off your phone. Get off your phone, please.
I'm looking for something.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for more information on those scientists. If that's okay with you, sir. Serious Sir.
I am serious Sergio. Okay.
Ay, qué perreado.
Jesse's like, take another gummy. I don't like this.
Sácate el palo del culo ya.
Okay. So another thing. What the was that noise? But he's like this.
It's quite like liquid.
Oh. He's like,
wiping the screen right now.
Okay, serious Sergio.
Okay.
This show is never going to be serious enough like all the other shows.
Just put your hands together and widen your eyes, okay? There you go.
Okay. So another thing that happened is I was relieving myself in the restroom.
Oh.
And I heard like someone was walking, so I thought it was Sally or my daughter, and I was like, okay, they're up here, and yo como menso. I was like, hey, can I get toilet paper? And
oh my God.
Because the restroom was out.
Did it roll in the bathroom?
Te imaginas if that happened? I would have even more than I already did. So there was no answer, and I'm like, what? Okay. And my response, because I don't take anything serious. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks for the help. So, and then I hear from way downstairs, I hear, what did you say? I was like,
Dale.
And then I'm probably gonna have to cut this out, but I stood up, clenched my butt cheeks so that nothing could fall.
Seep out.
Yes, seep out. And I did like a little penguin walk to the stairs, and I was like, "Are you guys downstairs?" And they're both downstairs, and she goes, "Yeah, why?" It sounded like someone was walking upstairs, just going to a room or something. And Sally was like, "Oh, I'm telling you, it's getting more active in this house." I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I've come to the conclusion. I don't know if I think it's me. I chalk it up to it's the houses I lived in, or you know what? Maybe it is the houses that I live in, but it's more of I am a proponent, or I am the conduit almost. Does that sound crazy? Like,
no, I mean it can follow you. Like, it doesn't matter what house you're at, it can, if it wants to attach itself to you and follow you, it can.
Right. And I totally understand that, and I believe that. But what I mean is it because no, not so much something. Okay, let me take a step back. Reason why I'm saying that is because every house, it's something different. It's not consistent. Hasn't been for years. Things that happen are different, and it feels different, which is a more important part. And I don't know. I think it's
you. It's
I'm
because
the
you're
energy
open
source,
to it.
obviously,
Yes,
and I
you're
think because I'm
open
open
to it, and you're not welcoming, but it's like you're like, okay, it's there. You're not like, oh, this isn't real, or like, you're just like, all right, okay, it's there, whatever. And then you're like dumb, so sometimes you probably yell or something or talk to it. So you give it like energy.
Eat it even more energy.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
I want to say, yeah, it's you, because there's always been a certain like energy to you. Mm-hmm. And if you kind of put this together, look at the people that are around you and have hung out with you forever. I mean, you and Jesse have been best friends forever.
And well, look at you weirdos, of course.
Yeah. And then like there's me, and then there's Oscar. And then, your brothers are the same way. And I think it's just a certain energy that you have, something you give off, and you're kind of like, I don't want to call you a portal, but like Jesse says, like You're
He's
kind of like a
basically saying
screen
we're all
door.
freaks. We're
Well,
all
he
freaks.
said
Yeah.
when Buddy said, "I don't want to call you a portal," I felt like he was calling me like a lady of the night or something, or like a
You're a ghost whore.
No,
Okay,
no,
You're a
no.
ghost
you're a
whore.
spirit whore.
No, you're just
Apparently
like
so.
you're just like a screen door. Like you can look in, you just can't get all the way through, type thing. You know?
I beg to differ. I think you can get all the way through.
That's what they call me, Sergio, the screen door Morlet.
Flaps
Oh, my
wide
gosh.
open.
Jesus,
Revolving door.
Jesse's on one tonight. She's really saying she's no holds bar. She's just like,
Did you send Jesse
Okay,
a pack of gummies?
fine. I'll be serious.
Jesse's like, I gotta try.
Let's
Jesse's
go.
like,
Ready?
under her desk, she has this, and she's like,
Actually, I have this.
You sniffing glue over there.
sniffing glue.
No, I like to put it. Instead of cream, I use this, and it makes my hands really smooth. Ooh, look at that.
Okay. I have so many questions.
Oh
So
God.
Here's the first question. Why is that glue translucent?
Because it was on sale at Walmart.
Oh, it's
Clear.
clear glue.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's clear.
Does it? Here's the second question. Does it smell of the Clorox variation?
No. It
No?
doesn't taste like anything.
No sabe a piña. No, no.
No sabe a piña este. Mm-mm.
I heard that.
There it is.
You heard that?
Yeah.
I heard that knock.
It's a
Anyway,
little
I'm
boy.
going to try to get through
It's a
this.
little boy.
Is he in here or is he like out there somewhere?
He's back there.
Here again?
Mm-hmm.
Is he sitting on my amp? That's my amp.
No.
Here.
It's like peeking.
Well, that's nice. I mean, I would have taken he's sitting on my amp better than peeking.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, let's move on.
Guitar.
He's playing my guitar?
He wants to
or
play
you're
your
telling
guitar.
me?
He wants to play your guitar.
Yo, plug
Only
it
if
in.
he shreds. Only if he shreds. And if you play some chug. What the are you doing, Jesse?
You need to plug in that guitar. You need to plug in
the
the amp and let it just sit there, see what happens.
Bro, that'd be crazy, right? Just let it
yeah.
it
Right
sit
out of
there.
nowhere. Right out of nowhere, there's a drop D G chord.
He's like, he starts playing Deftones. He's like, I know you like this. You hear it all the time.
Can you imagine?
You know what? For being a huge Deftones fan, I don't listen to them regularly like I used to. Makes me sad a little bit. Anyway, before this gets super depressing, Jesse's face. Why are you making that face?
What's going on here?
I don't know.
It's throwing you off. That little boy's throwing you off.
It is. I think the energy and everything's. It's a lot more active in this house. Okay, things are happening. Yeah, but let's move on. So tonight you're here, my dudes out there, because we're gonna reference people who vanished without a trace, and there's a lot of them. A fuck ton of them. Thank you, Premiere, for taking all the out of our show, and I can say as many times as I want.
Stupid.
Even though some sneak through sometimes.
I know, right?
Okay. So I'm sure you guys have seen this on social media or, whether it's, okay, to be fair, I don't watch the news. I really haven't. I never have really. I never sat there through a newscast and like, this is good TV. I never sat there for
I don't
news.
even know what real news is anymore. Like, what channel is it even on? Like, I don't know.
I think there is. I don't think there is.
YouTube?
You pretty much to get
Pretty
your
much,
news on
yeah.
YouTube. So I don't know which mainstream media covers anymore in regards to missing persons. I know that they used to cover them beforehand, especially with shows like Unsolved Mysteries. Like they
Yes.
would touch on them a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not talking about normal cases where it's like, oh, we found this person. They were unfortunately unalived and left in a ditch. It's more of they were gone, just completely gone,
Vanished.
vanished, no trace whatsoever, and never heard of ever again. Now, I've seen a bunch of reels on Instagram where there's people that are missing and then miraculously
appear.
because we're in the age of media where people are insane. So they hold
Yes.
on to these stories. I've seen reels where it'll be a missing person from whatever. It could be like an astronaut or whatever. And they find this person. They're like a professor at an obscure college. It's uncanny. The person that's missing and the professor look exactly the same. They sound the same. They have the same name. The only difference is they changed their last name. I've seen that many times. Now, I've seen this more recently now. Well, not more recently now. I've seen it for quite some time where there is a European man with a very small mustache, and supposedly they found him as well as an old man, like in Argentina or some shit like that.
Well, what the hell?
Yeah, it gets crazy like that. And we're diving tonight into stories that really don't make sense, if that aligns or makes sense to us. Honestly, it's the key points of it is there's no signs of struggle, personal items left behind, no personal items left behind. Disappearances in seconds, almost like if it's
Like the
thin
orb or
air.
something. Thin air,
Yeah, or like transported or something, or teleported. And there's never any eyewitnesses of this happening. It's like reality skipped a frame and they just disappeared. Has this fallen on your guys' lap when it comes to social media?
I watch a lot of true crime, so I haven't I have seen some stories that they vanish like out of nowhere, especially I don't know, like obviously like in alien areas, right? Like where there's a lot of
Right.
abductions. And then but a lot mostly like in Mexico, like out in the middle of nowhere. But not
Mhm.
like anything that has been like really mainstream or anything
Right.
until I saw like those scientists that had disappeared.
I can't wait till you get into that because I'm very interested in all that. But before we do jump into the scientists, what about, and I want to ask Buddy as well, if where he is on all this, the disappearance spectrum of people and what you think.
Well, it's funny because like we were talking about this a while back, and my daughter actually brought up a story of a certain doctor that disappeared. I believe it was in the. I was trying to find the dates when he went disappearing, but I believe it was like in 1994, where he went completely like vanished from his home, vanished from his town. And this guy, I mean, he had more than 50 books published. And,
Oh,
you know, one crazy thing about his disappearance is that when somebody goes missing for an extended amount of time, say a couple years, they basically just like set a death date, like he died around this time
Oh
and
yeah.
that's
right.
it, right?
Hmm.
Well, if you look
Yeah.
this man up on Google, it shows that he's 79 years old right now. But nobody knows where he is.
So it's like just an open case. Is that what it is?
They don't know.
Well,
There's a
they
lot of
close it,
of
right?
theory.
Like, they usually close them, but just say that it's, like, unsolved or that they may have been deceased around, like, an estimated time, like you say, but I don't think they keep them open.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been
I see.
open, but the thing is there's so much theory behind this doctor disappearing that there's a lot of stuff like saying our government took him. And then there's, because basically his study was of the brain, and he started studying the brain and then started finding portions of the brain that we don't use. And he started finding all kinds of stuff. I mean, everything um, from not psychology, psychosis
Mhm.
and and paranormal stuff as well, as far as like between interdimensions and how they work. And there was a lot of stuff. It was really cool to line up with Paranormal Dudes because of all his stories and everything he studied.
Mhm.
Right.
And now we bring this up, and this is actually right up the alley of this doctor.
Right. And I remember that the story that you brought up, and it's the same doctor that you said was out in the desert, correct? That the
And
same one?
well, yeah, he kind of grew up like in a desert area, I think.
Okay. Yes, then I remember this. Okay. Then I mean, yeah, it's strange. I'm glad we're bringing it up too because it's something I wanted to bring up on the show for quite some time, and um, I have strong beliefs that whether it's conspiratorial or it ties into our government that they were involved, but for I want to say obscure person, or I'm not going to say a nobody. I'm just going to say a person, just your average person in in the United States or anywhere really. I don't think governments would be involved with that. It's more of I think it could be three things. It could be a human factor of why they were kidnapped, because humans are inherently not inherently. There's just people that are evil. That's for sure. Secondly, the other factor is the whole UFO and extraterrestrial factor that of being abducted, and the other one, of course, is the paranormal side as well. I think whether it's spirits or a malevolent entity, I think it could be involved with these disappearances, and I think it's not just one singular answer. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you guys believe it as well, but when it comes to these types of things, I don't think there is a one true answer for it, and that's why it's kind of like a book that's open for interpretation. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself, unfortunately. And
Mhm.
the unfortunate part is that it is someone's life, right? Am
Right?
I missing the
Yeah.
mark? Okay.
Mm-mm.
So one of the disappearances I want to get into before I let it's kind of like round robin. You guys can throw in your own disappearances, but one of the ones that I stumbled upon, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this one, is the disappearance of Maura Murray. So in 2004, she was 21 years old at the time, and she was a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts, and she disappeared after a single vehicle crash, which was her own vehicle, obviously, on Route 112 near Woodsville, a village town of Haverhill in New Hampshire. So she just completely disappeared. Uh, it was in the snow, just so that you guys are aware. The police arrived in minutes after it happened. Okay, not like some places where it takes almost half an hour to an hour to get to the person, depending on a bunch of other factors in big metropolitan areas. And she's gone. There's no footprints leading away. It's just she crashed. And the crazier part is that there's like surveillance images of Maura Murray at an ATM. Now, let me share this with you guys.
That's crazy.
Let me share this with you guys, and you guys can kind of come up with your own conclusion, what you think. But tell me how weird this picture looks.
Yeah, she looks like she's drugged or possessed or something weird, or I don't know. It's just very, very weird.
And this is taken.
What is that?
The what?
The Terminator? She looks like the Terminator.
Yeah, the Terminator. And this is taken hours before she was that she disappeared, like they said in the headline.
So creepy.
So, I mean, there's Reddit discussions on the whole thing, and this is a crazier part of the internet where you have your internet sleuths, or I don't know if you want to call them sleuths, just like internet investigators. That's what I'll call them. And they're trying to figure out. And honestly, there have been cases where these internet investigators solve a crime or solve a case, I should say. And to this point, they still haven't found her yet. She's still missing. And it's just been one of the weirdest disappearances in that small town. And it's just focused on this. I think that this happens everywhere. Now, it could have been that she, no longer wanted to live the life that she was living, and she just disappeared, grabbed all her money, and just bounced. But I don't know, that picture that I shared with you guys, to me at least, I mean, it could be some distortion in the film that's creating that like dark shadow on her face.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's kind of scary. Or, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit in my life. What do you guys get from the story and the image I shared with you guys?
She's definitely not herself. Like I don't know how to say it or how to explain it. But at least me, when I see like a person, like I see them as a person that they are, but she doesn't look like like a human in a way to me.
You get anything like with your clairvoyance from that picture?
I just get that it's not her.
Right.
Yeah, I've got like all kinds of chills. I looked her up here to find out a little bit more on that ATM withdrawal. And it turns out it was February 9th of 2004 at approximately 3:40 p.m. She withdrew $280 from an ATM in her town in Amherst. And then following that, she was also viewed on surveillance buying approximately $40 of alcohol from a liquor store.
What kind of alcohol?
Couldn't tell you. That's all I got in a quick little summary there. But I mean, you think about it. Well, it says that the $280 that she withdrew pretty much depleted her whole bank account.
Right.
So weird thing is she left just enough money to still be able to go and buy alcohol at a liquor store.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. I get a creepy feeling, especially when I looked at when I found that picture. I don't know. Some people tend to do that and they want to reinvent themselves. So they just kind of wipe themselves and move to another country, another state, and sometimes even change their name and just become a new person because they don't like the life that they're living.
This is why it's scaring me. I'm sorry.
What's
this is why it's scaring me. That picture, like looking at that ATM picture, it's scaring me and it's bringing an image to my head, and I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
Those were from those scary stories to tell in the dark books.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
That's what it kind of like, it started giving me chills because I remember those as a kid used to freak me out.
Right. And that's where I'm at right now. Where I'm at is at first when I was, researching all this and putting together, some people that have gone missing or disappeared. Because you always go through that. I mean, I'm sure everybody here and everybody listening, you've wondered it. You've thought about what would happen. And if you have, it's because you're human and you're alive, if I hope. And have you guys ever not contemplated, just wondered, what if I were to just get up and leave and just reinvent myself somewhere else? I mean, my thought is different, but the same at the same time. My thought is just to get up and leave and live and just nomad it in the country. And that's it. Just disappear. But I don't know. Have you guys ever had that thought?
No.
Jesse, I love me.
I love being me. I don't like to be alone, probably. I don't know. I wouldn't like to I would get bored, I guess.
Okay. That's fair. Buddy?
I mean, I guess I could share, but yeah, there was a point where I did want to just get up and like disappear, and this was a while back. This was like way while back before I met my wife now and my home and everything. But
hey, he's like, just to be clear, Anna, if you're listening, it's not when I married you or during
no,
not during our relationship.
This had to do way before that. It had to do with certain issues that happened during my careers and stuff like that I was working towards, and I did come to a certain point, which a lot of people don't know, that I wanted to unalive myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so much in a dark space that was in my mind. And then one day I woke up and I was just kind of like, what if I just grabbed everything I have right now, throw it in my truck, and just go? Like, wherever a full tank gets me, that's where I restart. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to tell anyone where I was. I was going to leave my phones and things like that behind. I was just going to go away. So yeah, I do understand that portion of it, just wanting to get away from what you're the moment you're in right then and there. So yeah, I can relate to that whole thing, because I did go down a dark path that way, and that ended up being like kind of my way of not doing anything to myself and just disappear. I don't know. Nobody had friends, family, nobody had like anything to do with what was going on with me. It had to do with work. And I was just so out of it that I just, for some reason, I blamed it on family. And I was like, if I get away from family and friends and just never turn back, I could just start a whole new life and nobody will know me and this will be all better. And yeah, and I got out of that funk. So.
Okay. I mean, it's sad to hear. I mean, I've never had those thoughts before, but I'm sure it's definitely rough to go through, especially if you have no one to go to when you're having these thoughts. And honestly, there are dudes out there, if you're watching this and you have had these thoughts before, just know that you're not alone. There are people that do care for you, and you need like right away, you need to speak to someone. There's services that can help. You can always dial 988, the Unalive and Crisis Lifeline. And it's 24/7. It's available 24/7 for you. If you ever have those kind of thoughts or struggling, you're not alone out there. And it's, I don't know, man. It's a heavy thing to carry, buddy. And I commend you because you're here now and you were able to get past those evils. And when I mean by evil, I'm not saying that you're evil, but I wouldn't say it's widely known, but it's more on a denomination scale where it's said to be that those thoughts come from the devil, Lucifer. Not necessarily, you're possessed and he's making you feel these things, but it's kind of thoughts that are brought on to you because of his influence in any manner of way. Not saying that you were influenced by him, but I think it has somewhat of an evil tied to it. Do you guys think so when it comes to that?
I mean, anything can be tied to evil, but I think with certain circumstances, like you say, it's not necessarily it's not that it's like you just need to seek mental health services or
Oh.
like, learn how to or see if someone can help walk you through the feelings and
Mm-hmm.
that you're feeling and why you're feeling them. And like you said, I commend Betty too, because that's hard to do on your own. But it can definitely be either way.
And I will say I didn't do it alone.
Good.
During that time I was in a dark place myself. I mean, everybody was gone. You guys had already
Mhm.
moved on. Any of the group that I used to hang out with, everybody kind of moved on and did their own thing. I was almost in a little spot for myself where I didn't have anybody of the original group. It was just me. And so I had other friends that I had met along the way, but they weren't exactly guiding me in the right direction. Um, I was on different excessive alcoholic beverages. I was, in excess. It was almost a daily thing,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of stuff that was veering me in the wrong direction. And during that time, I had a stint where I was speaking in my sleep all the time. And
Oh.
Mhm.
more than speaking, I was more like yelling out what was going through my mind while I was in a sleep. And my parents heard me. Um, they heard my whole plan and
Oh,
everything I was
shit.
going to do, how I was going to do it. And from that moment on, my parents they didn't tell me they knew this, but they wouldn't leave my home. They are alone. So somebody always was around the house. And if I wanted to go somewhere, they wanted to know exactly where I was going to be, that kind of thing. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm already in my mid-20s. I'm coming up to my 30s. I don't got to put up with this, and and it ended up coming to a point where they actually did something I didn't want them to, but they dragged me along with them to a church function, and they made me they made me sing for a production that they were doing. And
Mhm.
right after doing this singing part I'd never done before, I got a lot of praise from it, and I had uh, a priest there that came and spoke to me, and we talked, and I ended up letting out a lot of it out, and that's where I realized, you know what, the thoughts that I had in my head were not good. And yeah, I do agree with you. If anybody does have feelings or thoughts or or anything like that, you want to just hurt yourself, um, seek guidance, seek help. Like Sergio said, 988, call that number. There's a lot of people out there that are there for you to help you. I mean, if you need to find me and call me and talk to me, my phone's always open. My Facebook, my socials, whatever you need. Don't feel you by yourself. But yeah, I didn't do it alone, and it did take a couple years, but I finally got out of that funk, and and here we are. We're moving forward, and I have not even I have not even had thoughts like that at all. So
Good.
we keep moving forward.
Definitely. Well, I was serious when I said that this was going to be a serious episode.
That's
Seriously.
what you ever put in your hand.
So, yeah, it's a heavy topic and it's a huge burden to and without getting into specifics, I mean, we have people that we know of or friends that have experienced these issues. And unfortunately, it came to the conclusion that it did without saying too much. And it sucks because then you're starting to think selfishly, like, what did I do wrong? What could have I said or done to prevent that? But sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes you're not the main character in the story. So I don't know. It's a tough thing to witness or be a part of. I don't know. It's a touchy subject is all I'm gonna say. But outside of that, there was one other story I wanted to bring up to you guys before you guys share what you guys found. I know Buddy's had that story of the doctor in his back pocket for quite some time. I don't know if you want to share it after, but so I don't know if you guys ever heard of Brian Shaffer or Shaffer, however you pronounce it, but it was the 20th anniversary of his disappearance, which was March 31st. So it happened overnight, depending on how you look at it. But I imagine it's one of the more infamous missing persons case in the Unsolved Mysteries community of Reddit. So technically, for this one, he arrived at a saloon, like a bar called Ugly Tuna Saloona, like around 1 a.m. on April 1st with friends, and got separated from friends inside the bar, and he hasn't been seen since. There was a security camera positioned directly above the entrance to the saloon and out of the Ugly Tuna. And investigators were able to account for the exit of every person who entered the entire night except for Brian. Whew, I don't know.
That's just crazy to me.
It is. I mean, story time. Okay. I've experienced these close brushes with death when drunk, extremely drunk, extremely intoxicated. I don't know if Buddy was a part of this one. I don't think he was. I was with my neighbor when I used to live on De Leon in Calexico, California. Ruben, I'm sure you guys remember him, Valenzuela. And we were all super drunk. Well, except for the driver. I think it was Ruben's brother, and he doesn't drink. So what had happened is that we got really drunk, and we drove out to, when I say this, you guys are going to laugh, to the Heber Dunes. Anybody not familiar with the Heber Dunes out in Imperial Valley, California? It used to be a hangout spot. I don't know if it is anymore. I think it is. And we went out there, but it was really late at night. And when we got there, there's no one there. And I got so scared what I'm about to tell you. Well, I got scared after the fact, not during. So my drunk ass veered off from the party that came in the car, and I wandered off. I wandered off into the night in the dunes. And I just plopped myself on a dune, just laid there. And I started to hear noises around me. I couldn't see lights. I had no idea where I was or where the car was or where my neighbor was. They couldn't find me. So I started hearing noises around me thinking it was them looking for me, but it wasn't. I started to hear yelping. Buddy, you know exactly what that is. Especially if you live out in the Imperial Valley and you go out and do desmadre in the country. Jessie probably didn't experience this because she's Jessie. And I heard yelping, and it was a pack of roughly 12 coyotes. And maybe, I don't know. I'm just guessing because I'm drunk. So I'm scared. And it sounds like they're trying to circle me, right? And then I hear footsteps close to me and like breaking of twigs. You know how in Hebrew Dunes there's some trees in there?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing like the breaking of twigs. And I remember thinking to myself, I just want to be home. That's the only thought I had. And I was like, man, I could definitely like die here. It's possible. And I turn, and luckily it was my neighbor's friend, Roberto. I'm sure you remember him too, buddy. With the glasses. Remember he was like güerito.
Yeah.
And he's like, aquí está, güey, aquí está. They couldn't find me. They didn't know what to do. And I'm drunk. So for whatever reason, I had no concept of time. I was lost for like an hour. Okay. And they were ready to pack it up and call the cops or go back home or try to find someone. And I'm just on a dune. What makes this silly is that they find me, they take me back. The dune was like around the corner. Like it was not even that far away from where they were. At least that's what it felt like when I got up and started walking. But I've had my weird spats, like blacking out. Jesse's been there for a few of my blackouts. It's scary when you lose control and the things that could happen. So can't entirely relate to Brian Shaffer, but or Shaffer, whatever. But definitely know the feeling of not having control when you're drunk. And I'm sure Buddy's been there too.
Oh, yeah. Funniest thing of your story is you were the responsible adult in all this.
Oh my God. You were the old man.
I know. I think they were still in high school. I'm not sure.
Oh my God.
I don't remember. I was definitely out of high school.
You should have pressed your life alert so they could find you.
Ay Dios, ayúdame. Oh my gosh. What's funny is that Jesse's never experienced. Well, that's a lie. Jesse's experienced it, but as a third party member, it happened to someone else. And she was there taking care of them while they were going through this drunken episode. That was like Jesse's role in all these parties or whatever. Remember, Jess?
Yeah, so fun. So amazingly fun.
Like all the parties we had at my house, and Jesse would always try to like corral people or clean up or making sure no one's things up, and all the while taking care of my drunk ass.
Jesse only came to parties to make sure none of us died.
Yeah,
well, basically
that was it. It was like Jesse's like, I got better things to do on a Friday night, but since you idiots are out here I am.
Yeah, definitely. But have you ever had an experience like that where you just don't have control and you're drunk and you have no idea what the is going on?
many times.
Can you share one of them?
It was just like yesterday.
No control and I'm drunk. Yeah, there was actually one of those times that I blacked out, and we were in Mexicali, and we were partying with a bad crowd, and I knew it. I started realizing how bad this crowd was, and I was like, I need to get away from here. So my heavily intoxicated ass decided leave the house, start walking, and I literally ended up in an alley. And I was sitting next to I guess some boxes, some like trash boxes. And yeah, I kind of went into that state of like, where am I? Will I ever get home? You know, I kind of felt like I was almost like in space. You know, I didn't know where I was. And yeah, I just kind of lost control as far as I couldn't even feel like I could stand myself up anymore. And it wasn't, you know, there was no like of course there were no coyotes or nothing like that. And I'm sure if I would have just passed out in the morning, somebody would have poked me with a stick and I would have woke up and been like, I need to go to the border. But yeah, I mean, there's been several times, even when I was with the band, we would start drinking, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and wouldn't finish till 7 or 8 o'clock the next morning. And yeah, several times that I had that kind of loss of control where I just didn't, almost felt like I feel now.
But it's because you have like, I guess it depends. Like, I think I have maybe only been in that situation like one time, but I was with people that I trust. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna let myself get crazy. But with you, with you guys, it was just, it would just like happen and be like, you guys. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's different. Like, if I were ever to, I guess, think of putting myself in that situation, was because I was comfortable, because I knew who was with me. If something happened with me, they would take care of me, type of thing. And maybe that's how you guys felt. I don't know, but I think that's just so crazy. Just fucking getting blacked out drunk.
I would have been like, oh, look, Jesse's puking. Wrap a plastic bag over her head so she doesn't make a mess anywhere. That would have been my first thought. Like, yeah, we'll keep it clean, guys.
I was only like that like 2 times that I can remember. But like I said, I was with Smelly and stuff. And so.
Yeah, you're in the comfort of the right people.
Yeah, like, and then another time, the only other time that I wasn't, the people will remain nameless. But we were like on a double date thing type of thing. And so, yeah, the guys were older than us and they were giving us drinks like crazy. But one of them, the one that I was
sure they didn't drop anything in your drink that starts with an R?
Honestly, who knows? But the one that I was like talking to, I was like, oh, this guy's gay.
Oh.
Like, he's gay. And so, like,
how did you figure that? Oh, he was sucking some guy's. That's how I know.
No, I just knew. It's just a talent of mine that I have. And then as we got more drunk, like, we just ended up hanging out. Like, we were just like talking, and then he's like, yeah, you know, me gustan los vatos. And we just like became friends. And we were hanging out I just remember I woke up like super like, oh my God, and like, ironically, we were in the closet asleep.
That's funny. This isn't the inception of your friendship with Edgar, is it?
Oh, no. No, this was way before Edgar. This was
hilarious if that's how your friendship started with Edgar.
No, my friendship with Edgar started in IVC because we had a class together. But this guy was, I don't know, I was like freaking, it's like 20 years old, 21.
That's fair. I mean, okay, to shift gears a little bit, I know that you wanted to touch on all the weird disappearances of the scientists as of late? And I want to hear this.
Like, I just like started like going down the TikTok rabbit hole.
Mhm.
From what like I gathered, they were all either NASA scientists, worked in NASA labs, were all between 2003 and 2026 or
Mhm.
2023 and 2026. All fairly close, disappearing, whether they were hiking, they were just doing random things. It wasn't like, they left their house, never came back. It was something like they were hiking, they had to stop on the side of the road for something and they just vanished type of thing. But they were all like nuclear engineers, or they did like pharmaceuticals or worked in the lab or something within, NASA and whatever. So
I discovered that you could use plastic as fuel when they
can you imagine?
disappeared. I mean, I
Basic,
wouldn't.
like with these, what the conspiracies are saying, obviously, like, I don't know if it's because it's NASA and they're scientists, as they're saying like it's aliens, right? Because
Right.
they know things that they're not, that, they're not supposed to, or,
Mhm.
somebody found out. But like, the FBI is, has been working with the Pentagon and all this stuff and whatever. But I mean, these people were seen without, like, disappeared without a trace, like hiking alone in the national forest. One of them was,
Mhm.
in his home in New Mexico, and he just vanished. And he was a retired general. So he's old. Like, how can he freaking just, unless he had Alzheimer's or something? Like,
Right.
another one disappeared after leaving home on foot. Like, why was he leaving his house
On foot.
on foot and then leaving behind wallets, phone, car keys? His family was like, there's no known reason they could think of why he would have left.
Mhm.
And he just literally vanished. Another one is like an administrative worker, and last seen like walking along a highway. And family suggests, but not confirmed, explanation of like multiple disappearances in the same region. So I
Mhm.
don't know if that is tied to the same thing or not. But so one of them they left home with a handgun. Another one, only think one or two that they found like unalive 3 months later in a lake, or
Mm.
out of like, I don't know, there's like 10 of them.
Okay.
So it's just really crazy. And it's not necessarily anything paranormal so far. It's more like
Mm.
UFO related, but they're not saying it's not paranormal. It's just enough to leave you guessing. So there's enough research or enough information to know what happened, but but still not enough to keep you guessing in a
Mhm.
way.
Okay.
But there was no last seen footage or surveillance on a lot of these too. Like, um, maybe random ring footage, especially from the ones that left their houses. But other than that, like, on the highways, if there was like certain areas of highway that didn't have, freaking um surveillance or videos, or if they didn't happen to go to a public restroom or a public place where they would have caught them, like, at a gas station or something, there hasn't been any credible like leads or any credible like surveillance or something footage that somebody saw them or whatever.
I don't know. Do you guys? I mean, I've seen these videos too, and I've seen the posts as well with the missing scientists, and I think it does. This is just me. I'm not speaking for all the paranormal dudes or anyone else, but I think it's heavily has to do with aliens and ETs or whatever, and these weird disappearances, and the FBI looking into it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it goes back to a lot of the stories we've touched on before where they completely disappear and sometimes they reappear later, or like the one astronaut lady that I mentioned before where she completely disappeared, but she was turned out to be a professor at an obscure college.
But that, I don't know, maybe that's even cloning in a way.
Maybe. It's possible. Who in today's day and age with the uprising of AI, and who knows? It's possible. It's very possible. It's just strange. And I'm glad you brought up UFOs because I want to share with you guys this real quick. Nellis Air Force Base is out here in Vegas. And they just captured new
footage.
UFO footage. It's crazy.
Do you have it on video?
I have it, and I'm going to show you guys. It's right now. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
See that? That's crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I actually got what happened?
That's a Nubian P-162 interdimensional discovery ship.
I actually got this video from Steven, who used to be on Paranormal Dudes, and he goes, "Dude, on the 21st, did you happen to be standing outside looking at Air Force Nellis Base?" I was like, "Why the fuck would I be doing that?"
As a matter of fact, I was.
As a matter of fact, at that very moment, I was looking that way. And I was like, "Why would I? Why would I be doing that?" He's like, "You should have, dude, because like this is what you would have seen." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll carve out some time at night to look that way, just in case I see a UFO."
You should.
Apparently, I should. Maybe I'll capture something.
It's funny you guys bring up like, and I do believe, it could be alien or UFO related, because even now, President Trump, accidentally released information that aliens are real.
I believe the accidentally part for sure. I believe that.
He I don't know how it was. I was just seeing something about it, but he mentioned it and it went public. It was public. And then he tried to come back with, well, it's a theory. It's a theory.
I try to walk it back a little bit.
Yeah, but coming out the way he came out with it, it was just like, wait, what? And with all these videos that are surfacing, yeah. I mean, all these videos that are surfacing, all these things we're seeing. I mean, even I've seen talk about the Artemis 2 that went up and went around the moon. There's of course a theory that it never happened. Then there's a theory that it did happen. But somebody mentioned in one of the theories was we didn't land on the moon because we couldn't. We didn't land on the moon because that was more of a reconnaissance mission. They wanted to see what's going on where we can't see, because they believe there's something on the other side of the moon that we don't get to see, the dark side of the moon.
Right.
So they believe, people believe that there might be something there, and NASA went and made a trip just to, basically like a spy plane would, it's way, way up there in the sky taking photos. They're like, why would they just make one trip around and then shoot right back to the Earth?
And then come back.
It's like, yeah, that makes some sense.
I think there might be something behind that moon. That's what I think. Maybe it's an outpost for aliens out there. Who knows?
I believe some of these doctors and scientists and everything that's gone missing, they're coming up. And I mean, as much as people talk about Area 51 and talk about certain studies and such, I believe they're starting to break ground to where we're learning about technology we really shouldn't be learning about yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these disappearances have to do with possibly, let's pick somebody up and let's make sure he don't spread this info no more.
It's possible, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many variables that go into all of this, and the thought processes and all of that, or you try to connect the dots and what makes sense to you, and everybody has their own theories, and you try to tell someone else the theory that you have, and they make you look like a moron, and then you're like, why did I even bring
makes
it
you
up?
sound crazy. Like,
Yes.
and it's probably true all this time.
Yeah, exactly. For years, especially bringing up UFOs or aliens, you were seen as a leper. Like, you were just like,
Una loca, está loca.
you're crazy. You're crazy to believe all that stuff. And now it's, with all the evidence and all the different stories of being abducted and all that are available now.
And then everybody's recording everything nowadays. Like, how can you, like, maybe before, when the people were really learning technology and how to, put together, you could fake a video, but now it's like everybody, like 50 people are filming the same thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of corroborating with with that other person filming the same thing. So absolutely crazy. Buddy, did you have a story you wanted to share?
We could touch on it a little bit. I think this story and this subject could go on all night long if we wanted it to. But the story I have is about Jacobo Kremen. He was basically like a self-taught doctor. He grew up poor. His mother died of can't remember right now if it was of seizures or some kind of brain tumor. And after that, he decided to study all he could about the human brain. And his whole history was, he wrote some books. He wrote 50 books in his time. And come December of 1994, he disappeared. And there was no trace of him to this day. Like we said earlier, they haven't put a death date on him. It's like he's still alive. And theories come around about him being abducted by the CIA. And the reason they have that is because there has been several accounts over the years where somebody has witnessed a man matching his description or looking like him but older, but being closely followed by 2 or 3 men in black suits. And they won't let him out of their sight. Like, they're with him at all times. They put him in a vehicle and they drive off with him. And a lot of his study had to do with, of course, the brain, but it started studying parts of the brains that we don't use, where he started finding certain frequencies and certain ways of how our brain waves are, how our brain manipulates our thought process and the waves that we go through, and how when there's second dimension, dimensions and time also travel in waves, and how those waves can eventually crash, and our brains can see that crash. So that lets us see into the past or into this other dimension where we see a person or somebody walking in it, and it can describe how some people that aren't, say, clairvoyant could see spirits or ghosts. And a lot of his stuff there's just so much on this guy. It's incredible, the stuff you read on him. But I think, through the theories and everything that comes up about Jacobo is basically he was abducted by the CIA and disappeared from the face of the earth. And I think in this story, I really do think the government did come and take him to try and harness the studies that he had and use it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But he is one of those that just up and gone and nobody ever heard of him again.
I don't know. It's there's, like I've said with the other stories, there's so many possibilities and different outcomes that you could think of. And I think this story alone that you brought up, buddy, it makes a little more sense when you add the government element because of his knowledge, and they want to harness that and use it obviously for government.
Uh-huh.
So still unsettling. It's still unsettling.
Yeah, because they still do it now, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that method has gone away.
Oh, no. And they've been practicing that for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very long
Not at
time.
all. I had my last boss that I had, he was in the military, and part of his job when he was in the Middle East was to go into somebody's home while them and the whole family slept, pick the person they wanted up, and leave without the rest of the family ever knowing they were there. And that was to extract information and interrogations and such. And he told us how many times they were able to get in a home, snatch and grab the person, and be in their trucks and on the way before any lights in the compounds or any lights in the homes were to turn on. So that person would literally just disappear from their home while they were sleeping. So I don't doubt that there's government agencies out there that can do that. And if next week I don't have a reason for... Yeah, and if next week you guys do a video and I'm not here and you guys don't know why, call Anna.
No,
I may have been grabbed.
That's the answer.
But yeah, I totally believe it's still happening everywhere, and it's just not publicized. The government's not going to allow that to be shared.
Of course not. Why would they tattletale on themselves?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
Even with all these cases, like old or new, like there has to be footage that's not released, or photos that are not publicly released.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm really glad you brought and I remember you bringing it up a while back and you wanted to save it because I think we were at the end of the show last time, and coincidentally we're at the end of this show. But we were able to let you were able to share that story with us. But here's the next thing we're gonna do. We didn't get to do it last time. Hope you guys are ready. It's about disappearances.
Do you get naked?
Wheel of Misfortune. Oh, we're not doing that?
No, not this.
Uh-oh.
It is the D&D segment.
The D&D segment.
Okay. All right. Let me lower this a little bit so you can hear. Jesse. All right, tonight's immersion is a quick one because we're at the end of our show tonight. But the three of us are hiking in the middle of nowhere out in Imperial Valley, California.
Oh, God.
We're in one of those pockets where there's no service, no nothing. Kind of reminds me of the first D&D segment.
Is it summer or winter?
It is hot. It is July, in the middle of July.
We just celebrated my birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right. I still remember your birthday, July 3rd. Anyway, back to the. I'll say why I remember it.
Okay.
You're gonna roll your eyes even more I'll tell you why it's easy for me to remember it.
Jesus.
Okay. We hear something in the trees. So, Jessie's the leader. Okay? She's the leader of the pack. Because me and Buddy are always doing stupid shit. Jessie, do we go check it out? Ignore it and keep walking.
Ignore it and keep walking.
Okay. As we're walking, and to be fair to our paraplegic friend, Buddy's wheeling alongside us.
God.
And we're moving through the dirt. It is hot as balls. And it's night though, which is strange. Well, actually for the Imperial Valley, hot at night is not strange. So then all you hear is the squeak of Buddy's wheels on his wheelchair and your footsteps. I'm gone. I just disappeared. Next, Jessie, do you decide for the two of you split up and find me, or stay together and try to find me?
I'm going to stay together and try to find you.
Okay. You guys veer off the path and you start to look for me. Buddy shouts, Jessie, get over here. You go over there. All you find is my cool PF Flyers shoe on the floor.
Oh my God.
I love PF Flyers. It's just sitting on the floor. Next, you see my shoe. Do the both of you leave immediately or keep searching for me?
Keep looking.
Okay. Buddy, what do you think? At this point, it's no holds bar. Everybody thinks for themselves.
I'll keep looking.
Okay. So, Jessie, you decide you leave immediately, right? Is that what you said?
No, I said keep looking.
Okay, that's fair. So the both of you keep looking. You look and look and look. There's no other trace of my body, other article of clothing. But then you feel like you're being watched. Okay? Then suddenly, as if waking up from a dream, Jessie goes into darkness and comes out of darkness. She was never part of the group. She just thought she was a part of the group. But Buddy is still in this reality, looking for me forever. He can never make it back, but something was following and is still following Buddy. And forever Jessie needs to find a way back to find Buddy. And I'm just forever. So that's the reality of you are the one who vanishes. Me. I vanish. You guys didn't technically this time.
I was getting annoyed already. I was like, if we can't find something else, like we're going to leave Buddy.
If we don't see a footstep, let's leave that. We're just leaving.
I was going to comment something about your shoe, but then I realized
shoe.
It don't work. Well, they're PF Flyers. Those shoes are guaranteed to make a kid run faster and jump higher.
Run faster, jump higher.
But
oh my God.
But you're an old man. You can't run or jump, so you're screwed anyway.
Yes, they're just for looks. That's all it's for. Thank you for participating in our D&D segment, which people actually like this thing. Okay, that's how we're getting a lot of requests for people to be on the show.
Because they want to do the segment?
I'm sure they do. I don't know. It's just hard to have the D&D segment with someone you don't know. Because, I don't know. I had to make this one short. It's abbreviated. It was going to be longer than that, but, we're running out of time. But that was our episode for missing persons or people that vanished without a trace. And a little housekeeping before we say good. I don't know about you guys. I feel heavy. after this conversation.
I feel sleepy.
I feel heavy. Like at the beginning of it, I was trying to be serious, Sergio, and it turned out that's what happened. Okay. One thing I wanted to thank everybody out there that with all of your supports, we're seeing crazy numbers off of YouTube in terms of viewership. We appreciate it. We have some cool things coming because our 100th episode is coming, and we were discussing it on Normal Dudes that we are probably going to save it for Patreon. So if you want to figure out what we were talking about, go watch that. Go subscribe. What we're going to do for our 100th episode is we're going to make it special. I know we're not going to be able to accomplish what we wanted to, and that was to have an IRL episode. We are going to have an IRL episode to commemorate the 100th episode, but the 100th episode itself will just be a special on its own. Outside of that, Ethan did let me know he got new equipment for ghost hunting. Jesse's not going to be a fan of what I'm about to say next, but he is going to begin scheduling out production time to go out and film himself, maybe myself as well.
Oh, God.
Probably so, where we go ghost hunting, and we have a couple people hit us up on Instagram asking if we were going to do it. And this is my answer to you. We are. We just have to iron out the details, film it, and edit it. But it is going to happen, and it will be on our YouTube channel if you want to go take a look at it when it is released. We do want to tell you guys, we do pay attention to everybody watching, listening, commenting, messaging us. We pay close attention to all that. And we want to thank all of you for the support that you support in any way possible, whether it's watching an episode or just checking out our shorts. If that's your jam, then that's fine too. But overall, I just want to say thank you from Paranormal Dudes and myself, honestly. That was my end spiel. Do you guys have anything for our dudes out there, Jesse, Bud?
Thank you, of course, for watching, supporting, and please, for the love of God, if you don't like to share your location, just share it with one person, please, in case you go vanishing. We can find you. They can find you.
Buddy, do you have anything for our dudes?
Yeah. Just this goes out to all our dudes and dudettes out there. If I do go missing, erase my browser history.
Very good.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, dudes.
I will, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jesse's like, you just got to send me your passwords like now. But yeah, I honestly, once again, I just want to say it one more time. Thank you guys so much. We enjoy doing this, kicking it together, and we want to continue doing it and entertain you guys in any way we can. Thank you so much. That's all we have for you guys tonight. We will catch you guys on the next one. Later, dudes.